If you've ever wondered how to change this photo so that it fits, if you notice, this is that picture I did for class the other day, and this is the pencil drawing that has all this stuff in here. And it's kind of crowded behind this photo here. Here's what the actual photo looks like. So this has the entire piece. This is the size for the site that we're working on. But if you want one for this size, use the clipping tool at the bottom of your screen. It's a little red circle with a pair of scissors on it. You might not be able to see it on here. But I'm going to click and drag a new area, and I'm trying to get it as close as possible. And I'm going to clip it all the way to here. This has the entire photos. So now I can do File, Save As, and I'm going to call this Facebook Masthead. And for simplicity, I'm going to save it on my desktop. Now I can take this image into Photopea File, Open, Desktop, Facebook Masthead. This gives me the size. So now anything I put in here, I should be able to save it and put it back into Facebook. So I'm going to do File, Open, and Place. And then I'm going to find my new masthead, which is this one. Open it. It's a lot smaller, but if you notice right here and these things right here, this is actually the size of the image. You'll also notice that there's handlebars on here. So I'm going to do Control minus, and I'm going to stretch this out until it fits into that space. Center it in here. Now remember, and you'll see this in just a moment, I'm going to double click this. That sets it in place. I'm going to click this little eyeball. Remember that this is down here. If you want to avoid having things like that, go up into the ruler, click and drag down to the top of that circle. Click and drag from the left ruler over to the right. So you know that this area is going to be covered up. I'm going to click on the eyeball again, which will reveal my piece right here, and this is where that circle is going to be. So if you want to move this around a little bit, since it's a little bit larger, I'm going to click the Move tool, and I'm just going to move it around a little bit. But see the crop mark down here? I don't want that crop mark in there, so I'm going to go ahead and move it back over here and just leave it like that. You can also make the entire thing larger again. Make sure that you have the correct layer selected. I'm going to hold the Control key, the Alt key, and then I'm going to tap the T on the keyboard. This again will give me, this shows me the size of the whole image. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out because I want the mister to be above this area. So I'm going to hold the Shift key down. I'm going to stretch this out until mister is above and outside of that circle area. Now remember, it's a circle, so this piece is going to get cut off anyway. And then I'm going to double click in the center. I'm going to save this file in a couple of places so that I can have access to it again in Photopea. So I'm going to save it as a PSD. You'll notice that it's saving it down here. PSD stands for Photoshop Document. So that's actually saving it in my Downloads folder. I can also save it, Publish Online as PSD. And the reason you want to save it as a PSD is so that it saves the layers. And that'll become more important later on when I show you how to colorize it and so forth. So I'm going to publish it online as a PSD to photopea.com. Photopea says your picture will be published under a public URL known only to you. Proceed? Okay. So it's going to publish it and open up another document, another Photopea document. So now I've got, this is the original one. This is the one, it still has the layers, but this is my published online, and here's the URL. So what you always want to do so that you can find this again is to double click up here, triple click up here, or just click and select it, copy it, Control C, and then I'm going to open up another window. I'm going to go to docs.google.com. I'm going to create a new document. I'm going to call this Photopea. PSD files. I'm just going to paste this in here and put a little description. This is my Facebook masthead. Put a little description in there. And then just click over here to save it, or click this little folder up here and move it to someplace in your Google Drive. So I'm going to go to my sites, headers, or mastheads, and I'm just going to move it here. And that's the way you do that part of it. So now I can go back here. One more thing I forgot to do. I also want to export it as a JPEG. Save it. Now this, in the new Windows 10, this opens up this dialog box. This is on my computer. So I'm going to click Add To, and I've already got one called Mastheads, and you can see that I've got a masthead in here. The difference on this one is that this is my Facebook masthead. So I'm going to click on Mastheads. It saved it there. So now I can go back to Facebook, click the cover photo here, and how do I change the cover photo? Anybody know? Anybody listening? Okay, that'll be the next step once I figure out how it works. I thought I knew. Well, here we go, update cover photo. Okay, I just didn't go to the right thing. I clicked on the image instead of this. Select photo, upload photo. And where did it save it? In my photos, of course. Pictures. Okay, well, I'm going to have to figure out where it saved it to. Let me cancel this. If you go down here, this is where it saves the Facebook photo. Facebook masthead is in my downloads folder. Don't you love learning right alongside Mr. Wing? Upload photo. Downloads. Facebook masthead. Open. And it's right where I want it, in front of my really ridiculous photo. So I'm going to click Save Changes. And now I've got a custom masthead on my Facebook page.